Mr. Maake, the Constitutional Court has dismissed the appeal by the ANC suspended Secretary General to go back to Lituli House. Now, does this signify the end of his political career? Your take?
Yeah, well, it's a let's wait and see approach, because if you look at it, Comrade Ace Magashule, his trouble started with the asbestos saga in the Free State, where he's accused of millions that were not properly spent in the asbestos project. He was arrested and went to court, and then he tried to squash charges for the courts to drop charges, but the High Court refused to drop the charges. Then what is left for him on that matter is to appeal why the court refused to drop charges. But on parallel, as a resolution of 2017 Nasrec Conference of the ANC, a step-aside rule was pronounced that any member who's involved in corruption or who's been arrested and having to defend their name in the courts should step aside. It was expected that Comrade Magashule would step aside, as Kusele Diko did step aside after President Ramaphosa suspended him, given the PPE scandals. And then the issue of Magashule surprisingly took another turn, as he was given 30 days by his colleagues, expecting that he would step aside, but he chose not to step aside, actually went to court to challenge a step-aside rule, because there was a panel, 5-member panel of legal experts, including Matthews Posa, Dalimpofu, who came and advised a NEC of the African National Congress on interpretation of the step-aside rule and whether is this a proper and legal process to undertake. Their decision was that it infringes upon members' rights and it can be challenged to court. That, in my view, was ammunition enough for the embattled Secretary General, who went straight to the court to challenge that step-aside rule. First from the High Court, then he went to the Supreme Court of Appeal, then finally, recently, he went to the Constitutional Court. All 3 courts dismissed the issue of his suspension being revoked, and also the issue of his individual suspension to the president of the ANC. The courts did not ratify such suspensions. So the question is whether if Comrade Ace Magashule, as the Secretary General, can return to Lutuli House anytime before December conference. The answer is no, he cannot, because there is a court ruling that bars him from going to that office. The only option that is left for him, the only avenue after the Constitutional Court slammed the door on his face, is the ANC National Conference, which, by the way, are the real original authors of the step-aside rule. It's only that if he's not admitted in that conference, he would not be the one to capture that resolution. Yes, so this is exactly the fate as we see befalling Comrade Ace Magashule. We don't know whether if ANC conference will give him admission rights to that conference, because there's another legal argument that can a suspended person attend national conference. The recent NUMSA issue is a classical example. NUMSA's conference status hangs in the limbo. One of the members who was elected deputy president says that conference is not legal because the court had pronounced against it. So it's a wait-and-see approach.
On that note, thank you very much.